Everyone, welcome to the Zebulon Board of Commissioners meeting, November 3rd, 2025. Join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Next, we will have the approval of the agenda.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda.
Mayor, can we remove item 8A from the agenda, please?
Move item 8.
Okay.
Be done next month.
So I would like to make a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
We have a motion. Is there a second? Second. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes. Thank you. What's next? Next, we have public comment. We have one to sign up. Mr. Shauna Wiggins.
Mayor and Board of Commissioners. I'm Tashina Wiggins. I reside at 3201 Lake Swain Drive in Zebulon. I'm also the co-founder of Angel Prince Corporation alongside my husband, Brandon Wiggins, who's not here tonight. First and foremost, I want to just thank you for the opportunity to share, as well as express my heartfelt gratitude for your support of our 4th annual Remembering Our Little Angels 3K Awareness Walk that was held last month in October, which is also our annual fundraiser. With your support, we were able to bring together about 150 people together, including families, community partners, and supporters to raise awareness around pregnancy and infant loss, as well as remind families that they are not alone as they walk along this journey. And so we were also honored to have representation from Wake County Health and Human Services, Maternal and Child Health Division, who also shared information and resources about ways to improve infant and maternal mortality. We also had Wake County Commissioner to offer his remarks, and of course, we had Mayor York to share the proclamations for Pregnancy and Infant Loss Awareness Month and Pregnancy and Infant Loss Remembrance Day, and also supported by Commissioner Miles as well. In addition, we were able to connect with families who expressed their gratitude for a safe space to grieve, as well as remember their babies and take steps towards their healing. And we just wanted to come tonight to just express our heartfelt gratitude for your support for the 4th annual Remembering Our Little Angels Awareness Walk. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Anyone else for public comment? Did we have any emails, any letters to be read at this time? Thank you. Next, we will have introduction of some new folks. Town Manager.
Thank you very much, Mayor and Commissioner. Good evening, and good evening, everyone. So we have it's an opportunity for us to welcome 3 new members to Team Zebulon tonight. I know that we have a new police chief tonight, introducing him and swearing him in. But before I get to him, I'd like to introduce 2 of my colleagues who just joined us on October 27. And I will ask them if they will come to the podium and introduce themselves to you. First is our communications manager, Heather Louise Finch, who came to us from Nash County Public Schools.
Good evening. Thank you. I'm excited to be here. Okay.
In a communications manager, she will speak for like an hour. But well, my other colleague is Miss Nicole Crooms, who actually came to us from the city of Raleigh, where she had worked as executive assistant to four assistant city managers. So we have the pleasure of welcoming Nicole.
Good evening. My name is Nicole, or Nikki Crooms. I'm very happy to be here. Very excited about the very positive team dynamic that I've been experiencing so far. So, thank you.
I think it's important. To make these introductions for the very reason that that really fills every vacancy we have on our leadership team and our management team meeting. This morning we had a full house, and I know that you are on the verge of hiring a town clerk as well, and so I think we're moving forward very well. But I'm excited to also welcome Chief Anthony Pocket, who comes to us as a major from the university. I also know that he served previously as police chief in 2 other municipalities. And so that's why you have all these colleagues here with us tonight. And so if he would step to the podium and introduce himself, and our town clerk would do the pleasure of swearing him in. Thank you.
Hey, good evening, public, council, leadership. Thank you for scraping the bottom of the barrel and getting me here. I'm extremely excited. I think Zebulon is a well-oiled machine. I know that they have a wonderful police department of men and women. I know they're wonderful citizens in the town. And I do want to take, if I can, a minute and thank each and every one of you for being here. It means a lot. Thank you.
And Mayor, if I may also use the opportunity to actually express our gratitude to Deputy Chief Bob Grossman, who has served in this capacity since pretty much January of this year and has done a very excellent job in leading our team. So, Chief Grossman.
Next, we will have a proclamation read by a member of the American Legion. The, Operation Green Light. We'll let everybody leave out. We'll take it good. Yeah. I think I saw the raw is cheaper place too. Yeah. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Mayor and commissioners, thank you so much for giving us the honor to be able to present this before the town. Proclamation supporting Operation Greenlight for veterans. Whereas the residents of the town of Zebulon have great respect, admiration, and the utmost gratitude for all the men and women who have selflessly served our country and this community in the armed forces. And whereas the contributions and sacrifices of those who served in the armed forces have been vital in maintaining the freedoms and way of life enjoyed by our citizens, and whereas the town of Zebulon seeks to honor individuals who have made countless sacrifices for freedom by placing themselves in harm's way for the good of all, and whereas veterans continue to serve our community in the American Legion, veterans of foreign wars, religious groups, civil service, and help fellow former service members access federal health, disability, and compensation benefits each year. And whereas approximately 200,000 service members transition to civilian communities annually, and whereas studies indicate that more than half of service members experience high levels of stress during transition from military to civilian life, which includes being at high risk for suicide during their first year at the military service. And whereas the town of Zebulon appreciates the sacrifices of the United States military personnel and believes specific recognition should be granted. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the Zebulon Board of Commissioners that the week of November 4th through 11th, 2025 is recognized as Operation Greenlight, which is a time to shine a light on the service of veterans and encourages our citizens to recognize the importance of honoring all those who made immeasurable sacrifices to preserve freedom by displaying green lights in a window of their place of business or residence, adopted this third day of November 2025.
Next, the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Motion passes. Thank you. New business. Strategic plan grant.
Good evening, Mayor and members of the board. I return to you for your decision on the strategic plan grant awards. And if you recall at your work session in October, we provided you with applications as well as the recommendation from the review committee. And as you know, y'all were privy to information the review committee was not privy to because it was a blind process. And so there could have been information that they did not have that could weigh into your decision-making, as well as information that could have been available in the video that was not viewed by the committee. This evening, you're looking to award two $5,000 grants, 5 $2,000 grants. They are for nonprofit organizations. And the intent is for it to align with the town's strategic plan. The QR code for members of the public or members in the audience that want to view the applications, this QR code is available to you to be able to review those applications and submitted videos. There were individual reviews by the review committee. They once they scored the applications, they came together and made a group recommendation. And their recommendation, just for review, was based on total points, eligible expenses, feasibility, role of the town, and overall project impact. Their recommendation is here on the screen, but you also have that information in front of you, as well as a list of all of the applicants and their requests. So this evening, you may discuss however you wish. We're recommending a vote process. You have empty sheets of paper in front of you that have this chart on it. And so our recommendation is that y'all take a moment to write in how you would like, or who you would like for the 5,000, who you would like for the 2,000. We'll take a moment for you to write those down. I will collect them and hand them to the clerk, and majority rules in this setting. If there's a tie, the mayor can break that tie. If there is a decision that needs to continue to a second round of voting, we will do that. If that does not solve your decision making, then we recommend you open it up to the floor and go through a recommendation. I'm drawing a blank.
Nomination.
Yes, a nomination process from there. But if you'll take a moment, if you're okay with it, to just write in your recommendations and I'll pick them up.
Is there any discussion that anyone feels that we need to have? No? Okay, awesome. Thank you. Can we just put the numbers down?
That's fine.
Okie dokie. What's the number? But you've got extra lists.
Thank you.
Whose was this? That's Amber.
Yes.
Do you want to send that to Catherine?
While the clerk is tabulating, we will move to the next agenda item. Stadium approval of lease.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. Thank you for having me this evening to talk to you about our final terms for the 5-county stadium approval of lease. I'm just going to run through a little history so we know how we got here. In the beginning, we learned from Major League Baseball, the Brewers, and the Mudcats that they were choosing to move to Wilson. So in January of 2025, the county and town got together to release an RFP to secure proposals for a tenant and for development, because we have a very large area there. 3 proposals were received, and the proposal team evaluated the proposals over the course of a few months, and then brought 2 to present to a joint session of the county commissioners and town commissioners. And ultimately, both elected boards chose to award a 10-year lease to Capital Broadcasting Company for the Coastal Plain League to have a team there, and for Wake Tech to have their sports there. They will have men and women's soccer and softball and probably one more sport, baseball, I think. And so the county and town approved the terms of the initial lease on September 2nd. We posted a legal notice for 30 days, which is required by state statute. And the town representatives, county representatives, our consultant, CAA Icon, Capital Broadcasting Corporation, and all of the parties' attorneys, Taylor here, definitely, worked a lot from September 3rd to October 28th to finalize the lease in accordance with the approved terms. So we took the terms that were approved before and worked out the details underneath those terms to make this lease work. And so CBC will sublease the stadium to Coastal Plain League team and Wake Technical Community College for specific athletic competitions. CBC will have approved site development plans by the end of 2030, or the rights to redevelop the property will revert to the town and county. Based on business performance, the lessee has the option to give a 1-year notice in 29 and terminate the lease early. And they would be required to pay for the remainder of the lease term, which is the full 10 years. The initial capital projects for this coming calendar year will be to make the stadium suitable for the proposed uses. So you'll see a change in the field. There'll be a synthetic turf. The size and shape will change so that it can accommodate all of the different sports. So the first year of capital improvements shared by the town and county will be the ones that are more suitable for operation. Some will be fan-facing. The second year of capital improvements will have more of the fan-facing upfit, the children's playground area, some more creative space, flex space, more signage that's and upfitted entrances, and scoreboard, I think, will be done the first year as well. The capital maintenance investment totals are $10,601 that should be a comma, and 875,000. I'm sorry, 10,601,875. That is the total, and the town's portion is $1,554,102. That amount will be begin to be due in a reimbursement to the county the second year that the improvements start, and we anticipate having being able to budget that over 2 fiscal years. So, so that we will be looking at that at budget time. The last part to probably explain is that there is there originally in your terms was a $1 million capital fund for major repair, right? If there was something structural, something larger. We have been able to move a little bit of the money from the capital improvements into that fund, so we're calling it a maintenance and CapEx fund. The county is doing the same, and this means that we will cover some of the maintenance. We will cover the maintenance at the stadium along with the capital expenses that may be needed beyond what a maintenance cost would be. The reason that we are doing that is because the CBC has agreed to cover all of the utilities and operating expenses. So this takes the town and the county out of utilities. It also takes the town and the county employees out of obligation to service the stadium. So this was something that was expressed by elected officials, that they wanted to see that happen, and we were able to do that and come to an agreement with CBC where we share some of the interest in operations, but only on the maintenance side and primarily through funding, not labor. And then to incentivize additional activity. Everyone wants to see community activity happening at the stadium, not only games, right? There's a lot of downtime in between sports seasons. So to incentivize additional activity at the stadium, for the first 5 years, we, town and county, as owners, will be offering an operating credit of $2.50 per ticket sold outside of regular games by the Coastal Plain League or Wake Tech. That means they have concerts or shows, however many tickets they sell, we will offer that up to $100,000. After that 5 years, it will decrease to $150,000, still up to the $100,000 cap. And the goal is to encourage them to have ticketed events and to offset some of that higher utility expense that they did not factor into their original pro forma. They factored in a lower amount based on other areas, and so we had to do a little bit of juggling. But it gives us a fabulous result in the end, because we will end up with a lot of community events. We still have so in addition to other revenue is that we will share in the naming rights for the first 3 years of the lease. We will have 25% of those naming rights, and CBC will have 75%. And then we will move to a rate of 50-50. And then if they were to receive additional rent, we are also subject to receiving additional rent. So that answers that question, should it come up. And here you have just a small table showing you how the projects total and how we get to the amount we do. And then I'll take any questions, any clarifications.
Any questions, comments from the board?
I know that this was an incredible heavy lift for you and your team and staff at Wake County and everybody here at the town. So thank you. I know it's been a tremendous amount of time and effort that you've put forth to come up with what, if you look at any of the past iterations of our lease for 5 County Stadium, my gosh, this is incredible. So thank you for that.
Absolutely. That's what I'm here for. Appreciate it.
Any other questions, comments from the board?
No. I'd like to make a motion, Mayor. I move that the Board of Commissioners approve the lease agreement between Wake County, Town of Zebulon, and Capital Broadcasting Company, subject to the terms and conditions accepted to the town attorney.
We have a motion. Is there a second? Discussion. Roll vote. Commissioner Davis. Favor. Commissioner Smith.
In favor.
Commissioner Harrison.
Favor.
Commissioner Miles.
Favor.
Commissioner Baxter.
Favor.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Hot dog.
Gill Street. Are we
Mayor, I
for the-
believe the clerk is ready to share the results of the grants.
Okay.
So we did get your results, and just to reiterate, the mayor was only going to vote in the event of a tie, and that was not necessary. We did have the majority to vote for awarding the grants as per the committee recommendation. So I'll just reiterate that. For $5,000, the Zebulon United Methodist Church and the Boys and Girls Club. And then the $2,000 grants will go to Operation Restoration, Inc., Herbivore, Nightdale Wake Forest Education Foundation, Zebulon Downtown Arts Council, and the Zebulon Aggies Football and Cheer.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And please thank the Strategic Plan Grant Committee.
I will send an email in the morning
Thank
to
you.
share it. Yes, absolutely. So we'll move forward with the Gill Street Park Master Plan, and I will start by saying I am extremely excited to hear how this evening is coming together, showing community, recreation, and economic impact. It's just a common string throughout the meeting this evening. So it's just very fitting that we bring forward both these plans. So Gill Street Park, as you know, we've been working on how we can better provide services for the surrounding neighborhood and our community. If you're not familiar with this park, it is close to, it's part of a larger parcel where we have the cemetery. It is beside Zebulon Middle School, close to East Wake Academy, off of Shepherd School Road. The existing site is 1.6 acres. We do have some contamination concerns that we have been working with the EQ on. We have an opportunity to actually expand the site. What started the process of us evaluating our environmental conditions was wanting to make improvements to the park. And we are limited to what improvements we can make to the park just in size, but then we also get to some of the other challenges that we're currently working with. And when we take a good look at the property, if you are familiar with our Parks and Rec Master Plan, it tells us to look at town-owned facilities and property to see if there's opportunity to maximize it for recreation purposes. And when we took a look at this area and how we could better provide services for recreation, we recognized that there was about 5.7 acres of undeveloped land that the town already owned, and even better, it partners or borders both Zebulon Middle School and East Wake Academy. We worked with the community. We had in-person engagements. We also had online virtual opportunities. Some of the feedback that we got from our community engagement was a strong consensus for option 2 of the new park site, which really the biggest difference of the two options that we presented was the location of the proposed community facility and how it was located on the site and how the parking was arranged around it. There was also a stronger interest in providing a skate park, a more active option for the existing park site, which I think is very fitting when you look at the two schools that are nearby. And it also fits with this narrative that we are looking to create more opportunities for our youth, specifically our teens. There was also interest that the community facility that we're proposing have wide range of activities, have flexible spaces, and have a more modern feel to it. There's interest in having a colorful playground and making sure that all can benefit from playing with the playground. There was also interest in making sure that the outdoor spaces were flexible and could serve multiple different groups, and that there'd be access to restrooms at this park, as well as walking trails through the natural area where there will be disc golf. A multi-sport court that could support a wide range of opportunities was an area of interest, as well as the multi-skill skate park ramps for all ages, including public art, shade, places to sit, security lighting, Wi-Fi. These are pretty consistent with some things that we're hearing with other interests in our parks. So here are the two proposed concepts for the expansion site and the existing site. And so the expansion site, as you see in the map on the left, that'll be the area that borders directly East Lake Academy and Zebulon Middle School. And the existing site is the area where we are proposing to have parking implemented. There's very little parking on that site currently, but it would also have access across the park onto Privet as well. And if you've ever been to an event at the middle school, this parking will be much appreciated, I'm sure. And we are looking forward to seeing this unique asset. You don't have this in Eastern Wake County, and so I think that it would be a very unique opportunity. So it is broken down into several phases. So we'll talk about the expansion site first. It's in 3 phases, where we start with a lot of our site work, your playground, your parking, your electricity and utility areas, your multi-sport court, your open space, and picnic shelter. We come back in phase 2, and that'll be your community facility. We put it in phase 2 because it is a little bit of a bigger expense that we need to prepare for, and we have funds to start working towards phase 1. Not all of them, but we do have enough to really get started on making some improvements now. And then phase 3, we would come back with those walking trails and that disc golf course in that natural area. Phase 1 of the existing site would be the area in red. Phase 2 is the area in green. And the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board recommended adoption on October 20th, 2025. There is a sample motion for you pending you don't have any questions, but I'm happy to answer any that you may have.
Any questions, comments from the board?
Yeah, what's the timeline for breaking ground and getting through the end of phase 3?
Depend on funding.
Right.
So in your master plan, in your packet, I recommended a capital improvement plan. Let me see if I can put my hands on it. That should your funding work.
Can you give me the page number?
I think it's page 113 of your packet. I printed off a different sheet, so it fit in my notebook. But we are proposing, you currently have $766,000 dedicated to this project. And so that's more than enough for us to get started on design. So our plan is, if you adopt this plan tonight, we plan to immediately start working towards releasing an RFP to go to designs. With that, we are more competitive in a grant funding cycle right now if you have shovel-ready projects. So going ahead and moving on designs will help us seek additional grant funding. I do think that this project is a good candidate for a part F application, which would be in the spring. So we would be working towards that. You would need to allocate an additional $500,000 in fiscal year 27, $734,000 in 28. We're recommending phase 2 begin by 2030 unless you get funds sooner. And then you would also do phase 1 of your skate park at that point, and then immediately follow those with your final phases. So I would say in about 5, 6 years. If you have all the funding in place, I think this is where a recreation bond is going to be important. The capital improvement plan recognizes that you're not going to be able to do this alone. It's going to take partners. It's going to take the community wanting it. And we'll have to have a discussion moving forward that is a recreation bond, something that we want to put forward to the community to help make sure these things happen. Otherwise, we're just going to continue to go after grant funding and do the best we can with the funds we have available with us.
Awesome, thank you.
Absolutely.
So this is part of the 500,000 that we put in the previous budget, what, 23, 24, something like that, I think, 24 budget, that part of that 700 and some thousand?
Yes, so there were 500,000 that was put into the budget in last year's fiscal budget for bathrooms. And then prior to that, we had, off the top of my head, I think it was about 300,000 to do playground renovations. When we started the process for planning for the playground, but also recognizing that there'd be a lot of site work involved with adding bathrooms, and then we would have to address accessibility and sidewalks and parking if there was going to be a lot of site movement. And we wanted to do our due diligence, one, in the area where we wanted to do the playground, but also trying to figure out where the best place on the site, understanding its history. And that's where we discovered that there was some contamination issues. It was going to take a lot longer. And I think that the end result for our community is going to be a much better product.
All right, thank you.
Absolutely.
With that, Mayor, I'd like to make a motion.
Any other questions or comments from the board?
I make a motion to recommend adoption of the Gill Street Park Master Plan, Resolution 2026-13.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Third, let's go.
Thank you, Commissioner Harrison.
Thought you were going to rock, paper, scissors.
Any further discussion? We have a motion and a second. Roll vote. Commissioner Baxter.
In favor.
Commissioner Miles.
Favor.
Commissioner Harrison.
Favor.
Commissioner Smith.
In favor.
Commissioner Davis.
Favor.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Great job, Sheila.
Thank you, Sheila.
Thank you. It's a long time coming.
Yes.
Long time coming. Thank you, Sheila.
Projects, I'd be remiss if I didn't reference. Drew Crumpton here has been in and out of different projects with the town of Zebulon, very familiar with the town of Zebulon, but also the Parks and Rec Department. And he got some urgent calls from me that we've got some projects we really need moved, and we need to make sure the community's involved. And he's really streamlined the process for the town of Zebulon and been able to lean on his familiarity with our community because he's been involved since our comprehensive plan. So I asked him last week when we were at a public meeting if he felt like he was an honorary member of our staff at this point. So I think he feels very invested in these projects.
Thank you, Drew.
Thank you.
Zebulon Community Park Master Plan is the next item for you. There are, if you've noticed in your agenda, there are a lot of different elements to this, so I'm going to walk you through all of them, but we're not going to do any of those if we don't start with just the master plan. So we're going to start with that piece. We started this effort, just to give you a little background, Nick, our park superintendent, Kate Farrell, who I saw in here earlier, we sat down with a large map and Legos. And we started this effort of what could we do with community park? We have all of these things. There's this list on our board of all these amenities that we need to provide our community. How do we make them fit? And that's where we started to realize we really can rethink how community park is laid out and how we use it to really maximize how we serve our community. And so once we did that, we realized, and I'm gonna take a step back. What we had on this board is we needed 4 multi-purpose soccer fields. We need 2 more baseball, softball fields. We need pickleball, we need splash pad, community garden, dog park, amphitheater, and a multi-purpose recreation center. And so when we were able to use that map and those Legos to really show how movement could work through the park, that's where Drew here got a call from me saying, hey, there's this awesome grant opportunity, but also we've been working on this project for community park. It was a high level of interest in our master plan where we had original concept plans. What can we do? And so we got working on community park, and so it's 53.5 acres of space. Not all of it is developed. Some of it includes a property that the town has acquired in the last year that help us really rethink and reimagine Zebulon Community Park. And we worked with the community. We had some in-person workshops. We set up at Rock the Block. We also set up at the Gulf Street Park Cookout. We were at 5 County for our movie night, and we had our online virtual opportunity. And we had a variety of community engagement. Something that we heard a lot of is the desire for accessible and inclusive amenities, and that is very consistent with our master plan. There's a lot of interest in water-based recreation, so pool and splash pad. Restrooms and shelters that are easily accessible from different areas of the park. You'll see we address that. Security lighting at the park, additional basketball courts, pickleball, dedicated soccer fields, preserving disc golf, picnics, areas that are shaded, retaining our walking trail, and adding an entrance to the park was also shared as important. The final concept plan in front of you was broken down into 5 phases. That if you read through the park plan that was provided to you, you will see how each one is broken down. Phase 1 is primarily getting that new entrance into the park. It's also the soccer fields, the new playground as well. And we will have to relocate some areas of the disc golf course, so that will be included in phase 1. We're gonna do our best to make sure that we can, in the first phase, retain as many of the existing amenities. So the plans were phased in a way that we start at the back of the park and work our way forward. As you know, with any phasing project, as you saw with Little River Park, there may be times where you want to pull something forward, you may want to do something sooner, and I'm gonna give an example of the basketball courts in this case. So when we go to bid for this project, we're gonna include an alternative to go ahead and fund the development of the new basketball courts. We think that it'll be much appreciated in the community, and I think with us already doing a lot of that site prep in that general area, it will allow us to keep those open, have as little impact as possible. So we are going to include that as an alternative in our bid package, so we can come back to you for additional funds if necessary to go ahead and move forward with that effort. So I'm just going to give that as an example of something you could move forward from different phases. Went over the phase 1. Let's see. We recognize that we're going to lose some of our baseball access at Community Park by doing this, but we are working on a process currently that will bring us 4 baseball, softball fields together, which is ideal, one for our own programming, but it also makes us more marketable for tournaments, which having 4 soccer fields will do that, having 4 baseball fields together will do that. We're already hearing we have some of these traveling tournament leagues that utilize the fields we currently have, and they're telling us, we will use whatever you bring. If you build this, we will come, we will bring tournaments here, and they're very excited by the prospect of this option for Eastwick Academy. While this plan is not in front of you for consideration tonight, I think it's important to know, and for the community to know, that we're not just taking away ball fields from Community Park, that we are actively working as quick as possible to make sure that this project moves forward. And I think with that said, Community Park, you'll notice we are doing a softball/amphitheater multi-purpose facility. It'll be very unique to Zebulon. I'm really excited for that design process because I think recognizing the history of Community Park, baseball's always been a part of that, and we should continue to honor that opportunity here. Also recognize that there are a lot of other opportunities that we could capitalize on by making it a multi-purpose facility. So the considerations that you'll go through tonight will be the adoption of the master plan, allocation of funds, creating a capital fund, adopting the capital improvement plan, and authorizing us to make a proposal to Wake County Raleigh Hospitality Tax Fund. And the first order of business will be the adoption of the master plan, and pending no further discussion about the plan, the Parks and Advisory Board has recommended adoption on October 20th, 2025, and we have a sample motion for you to consider.
Questions, comments from the board?
I'd like to make a motion to adopt the Zebulon Community Park Master Plan Resolution 2026-14.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Roll vote. Commissioner Baxter.
In favor.
Commissioner Miles.
Favor.
Commissioner Harrison.
Favor.
Commissioner Smith.
In favor.
Commissioner Davis.
Favor.
Motion passes. Thank you.
So now we have the allocation of funds. You have an ordinance in front of you that will transfer $1.4 million from land acquisition to a Zebulon Community Park and ball field relocation fund. It will also pull in $3 million of fund balance, specifically from your recreation impact fees as well. So that will put it at $4.4 million.
Maybe I should quickly add to that these are not new monies. These are monies you already have adopted in your budget. So just want the audience to be
The
clear
$3
about
million is new money.
The $3 million will be impact fees that will come out of your fund balance, but it still keeps the fund balance in a respectable manner that it meets the local government commission's requirement.
Yeah, these are impact fees that we already collected for this purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So is there verbiage?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. There's a sample motion in front of you.
Is there a motion?
To adopt ordinance 2026-15.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Roll vote. Commissioner Davis.
Favor.
Commissioner Smith.
In favor.
Commissioner Harrison.
Favor.
Commissioner Miles.
Favor.
Commissioner Baxter.
Favor.
Motion passes. Thank you.
The next order of business in your agenda packet is the Capital Project Fund, and for those that are not familiar, a Capital Project Fund just recognizes that this is a project that will take multiple years. It will not be able to be completed in the current fiscal year, and so it lets our community know, but also our consultants or contractors as we're moving forward know that these funds are there, they're dedicated, they will not leave that account unless used for that purpose, unless the board is to pull them back from the capital fund. And we don't have to budget for those every year. So they're there in their own account. There's a sample motion on the screen for you.
I make a motion to adopt ordinance 2026-16.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll vote. Commissioner Harrison.
Favor.
Commissioner Miles. Favor. Commissioner Davis. Favor. Commissioner Smith. Favor. Commissioner Baxter.
Favor.
Motion passes. Thank you.
The next item of business is the Parks and Recreation Capital Improvement Plan update. There is a sample motion to adopt Resolution 2026-15.
Adopt Resolution 2026-15.
Motion. Is there a second? Discussion. Roll vote. Commissioner Harrison. Favor. Commissioner Smith. Favor. Commissioner Davis. Favor. Commissioner Baxter.
Favor.
Commissioner Miles.
Favor.
Motion passes. Thank you.
All right, thank you for those pieces. We got one last piece on community park. So requests for proposals were released from Wake County and the city of Raleigh for the hospitality tax fund for a competitive process on September 8th. Proposals are due November 6th, which is Thursday. Luckily, we were aware that this process was coming, and we were already in the process of working on community park engagement. So we were working diligently over the last 2 months for us to be able to present a proposal. There are $8 million available. The max request is 5.5. What we're seeing is that you're more likely to be funded in the $3 million range. That's typically what has been awarded. Doesn't mean you can't get the 5.5, but I think that's the most realistic to expect. Wake County match needs to be less than 50% of the total project. They want it to enhance arts, culture, sports, and convention facilities. They really want to see an economic impact, tourism related, but also that it ties in nicely with the community. So our proposal is for community park for us to do our soccer field development, putting in our new road, the support amenity and infrastructure. We are not including the baseball and softball complex just because I think that there are some key pieces that are not in place for us just yet. However, I think we have a stronger application still referencing that effort and that partnership and that we are working towards it, but it would be premature to include it, so we will not include that. But we are asking for $3 million in our proposal. We are going to be using fund balance, which are the funds, part of the funds you just allocated at $3,430,000 to go towards the town's match, which you've already allocated. You don't have to do anything else now. And we are asking for your blessing to go ahead and make this proposal. We are really excited. It's been a lot of work. We've had support from just about everybody on my team and from a lot of partnering agencies. We've had, I think we've got 7 letters of support, and we've got 2 or 3 that are pending to come in tomorrow. So,
Any questions, comments, discussion?
Well, this grant, so with the amount that is listed that we will request from Wake County, is it possible for them to give us less or more, or are they going to just give us what we asked for or nothing?
I've not gone through this process with Wake County, and it's like most grant processes, it could change depending on the whim of the elected officials. I would say they're more likely to give you what you ask for.
Okay.
Usually with these capital projects, they'll stick to what you ask for.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Is there an application deadline for this Thursday? So we're going to move quick. Okay.
And how long would we have to wait for those baseball fields?
So in the same we're doing with Gill Street Park with the adoption of the plan and the allocation of funds, we are going to immediately start working towards getting that RFP out and moving on designs of phase 1. And typically that process can take about 4 months to get to where you're actually moving on a design, sometimes a little bit more, sometimes a little bit less. And you should expect a year to a year and a half in design, year to a year and a half in construction. So no more than 3 years, assuming that all the funding falls in place, you will be playing on those fields and have the additional access into the park. All of the other pieces, same thing with Gill Street Park. Your capital improvement plan kind of lays out what it could be to get there. It's going to depend on funding. It's really going to depend on investors. So one of the things that we're going to be working on is trying to identify partners to come in and help us build certain elements. We can't do it ourselves, but we're also, if the community wants this, and we've seen a lot of support, a recreation bond is going to be something you'll have to consider.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions, comments from the board? Do you have a sample motion?
There's not a sample motion for this one, but I think the motion would be to authorize staff to submit a proposal to Wake County as presented.
That
So we authorize.
Yeah, you can make that.
We make a motion to authorize staff to submit proposal to Wake County Hospitality Fund.
Second.
a motion and a second. Discussion?
I just think 3 years is a long time.
It is, I want it tomorrow.
We will move we'll move as fast as we can because we need those soccer fields. So I'm giving you a maximum, I think, but as long as there's no issues. But it will just take about at least a year for designs and another year for construction at the earliest.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Roll vote. Commissioner Baxter.
In favor.
Commissioner Miles.
Favor.
Commissioner Harrison. Commissioner Smith.
Favor.
Commissioner Davis. Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheila.
Zebulon South annexation.
Good evening, Commissioners. Next item on the agenda is the annexation of the Zebulon South parcels. This is the last requested entitlement from the developer of Zebulon South. The applicant is Deacon Properties. There are a variety of owners across these 4 parcels. These parcel addresses are 700 South Arundel Avenue, 0 South Arundel Avenue, 751 South Arundel Avenue, and 0 South Wakefield Street. We have to read the PIN numbers as well. The PINs are 27055, 12202, 27044, 92511, 27054, 13075, and 27055-13114. And together, these parcels make up 118.6 acres. The purpose of this slide is to show that the town has exceeded its public hearing notification requirements. We have sent out mailed notices. There are public hearing signs posted on the parcels where there is road frontage. It's been in the Awake Weekly newspaper, and it has been posted on the town website. The standards when approving annexation of the UDO are as follows. Owner approval. Can services be provided? Any debt obligations? And public health, safety, and general welfare, just as a general reminder for annexations. Should the board choose to approve this annexation, the public can expect the following outcomes. Zebulon South residents would pay in-town water rates from the city of Raleigh for water and sewer. And the town would begin collecting property tax on the parcels, which will eventually become 320 residential units, provided that the town property tax rate stays the same. That's approximately $840,000 annually in additional revenue. Staff's recommendation is to approve the annexation and adopt ordinance 2026-06 if you find that the standards of 222.g are met. I'll take any questions from the board. Otherwise, we'll turn it over to the mayor for a public hearing.
Any questions, comments from the board? Hearing none, I will now open annexation public hearing. And public hearing is the opportunity for the public to express thoughts, ideas, concerns, and opinions regarding the proposed requests of the Board of Commissioners. The Board of Commissioners staff and applicant not engaged in dialogue at this time. If the public has questions pertaining to the annexation request, please contact the staff or the applicant following the annexation public hearing. Is there anyone who wishes to speak in favor of the project? Come to the podium. Your name, address, please.
Good evening. Beth Blackman, Simmons Group, 5410 Trinity Road, Suite 102, Raleigh, North Carolina, 27607. I am here on behalf of the applicant. If anyone has any questions, we appreciate your support.
Any questions for the applicant? Hearing none, thank you. Is there anyone who wishes to speak in opposition of the development? Come to the podium. Give me your name and address, please. Hearing none. Is there anyone who wishes to speak neither for or against the development? Come to the podium. Name and address, please.
Dr. Don Troen, Proctor Street, Zebulon. Something has come to my attention which I have contacted members of the board and want to thank you for responding to me, those who did. I have repeatedly over the last several weeks received letters from developers. These letters have told me there were going to be public hearings. I've received these letters approximately a week to 2 weeks after the public hearing occurred. I've been advised that the town has no control over this, and this is not an error of the town. But that for some reason developers are sending me messages 2 weeks or more after the public hearing. I think the point of the law is to allow a person to get to the public hearing ahead of time and ask questions. I would request that the town look into why it is that there's a slowdown and why the citizens are not given the opportunity to respond in a timely manner and be given a voice in this process. I think the citizens have a value. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishes to speak neither for or against the project? Hearing none, I will now close the public hearing. The annexation of Zebulon South.
Members of the board, there's a suggested motion on the screen.
Is there a motion?
I hereby moved.
I hereby move to approve ordinance 2026-17 for the annexation of Wake County, PIN 270-551-2202, 27044-92511, 27054-13075, and 27055-13114 into the Zebulon corporate boundaries, finding that the standards of section 2.2.g are met.
Motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a second. Discussion. Roll vote. Commissioner Davis. Favor. Commissioner Smith. Favor. Commissioner Harrison.
Favor.
Commissioner Miles. Favor. Commissioner Baxter.
Favor.
Motion passes. Thank you. Next, Sheets Development Requests.
Good evening, Mayor and Board. I will go over a quick overview of what was previously discussed with this project, as you saw at the joint public hearing, as well as update you on the motion that was made by the Planning Board for their recommendation, and as well the applicant is here to speak a little bit more to some minor changes that may have been made between the last time you saw this project and tonight, to address some of those concerns that were brought up at that joint public hearing. So I'm going to run through this real quick. So Sheets Plan Development. When considering a plan development, the following standards are applicable from section 2.2.25.j, whether the project meets the public's health, safety, and welfare, whether it's appropriate for the location where it's proposed, whether the project is reasonable and in the public's interest, and then other relevant factors that the board deems necessary. And then as well, with this being a plan development request, we're looking for, you as the board are looking for something that's better than the strict interpretation of the UDO standards. So that's in section UDO, section 3.5.5. So the property, the applicant is Sheets. The property owner is Old Heritage Properties. Property address, 1406 North Arundel. The acreage of the property is 2.15 acres. It's currently zoned heavy commercial, and the proposed zoning is for plan development. This map represents the current zoning as heavy commercial, and the future land use reflects a general commercial future land use for this site. Timeline of activity. So a neighborhood meeting was held back in April. Application was submitted in May. Comment letter was sent out early July. TRC meeting was held early July. Submittal number 2 was submitted in August. September, the comment letter was sent for that second submittal. The final submittal was submitted in September, and then the hearing packet was posted to the town's website on early October. Hearing packets were distributed October 10th. Joint public hearing was held on the 13th, and then between the joint public hearing date and today, the planning board did meet again to provide their recommendation for this project. So what you're seeing on your screen right now is the current site conditions. As you can see, this is an existing gas station, and it's an existing Sheetz. The proposed redevelopment, this is the site plan with the updated features, and as well, the applicant is here to speak a little bit more to that in their presentation. But just wanted you to be aware, this is what site is being proposed with this plan development request tonight. So plan development proposal. Within a plan development narrative, the UDO requires that the applicant describes the specific ways in which any modifications to the general applicable standards in this ordinance will result in a development that is higher quality than would have otherwise resulted if the development was established without any proposed modifications to the standards of this ordinance. In the next couple of slides, I'll just be going through what the requested uses are for this site, as well as what those, just an overview of those proposed conditions. So uses, so again, the plan development requires that allowed uses be established through the master plan process, and that allowed uses will be consistent with the adopted policy guidance that the proposed PD proposes, as well as the use-specific standards except where modified. So the two proposed uses on this site are for a convenience store with gasoline sales, as well as an accessory use of a drive-through. So the following conditions, I broke these down into 3 categories, and it's just an overview of them. If you want to go more in depth on them, we're happy to discuss that within your questions. So summary of site conditions, the applicant is requesting a alternate location for fuel pumps, pump islands than what would otherwise be required by the ordinance, a change in the amount of off-street parking that's allowed between the primary facade and the street, the location of the dumpster enclosure being in front of the building, and then a reduction in a setback that would typically be required in the heavy commercial zoning district. Summary of landscaping conditions. The applicant is requesting a reduction of perimeter buffer along the ABC store boundary, a modified streetscape buffer along Pierce's Road in North Arundel, and then a change to the parking lot tree requirement. Additionally, the applicant is providing 2 architectural conditions, one of which would change the required amount of fenestration on the primary facade, and then the second condition would change the required fenestration / false windows that would be along the secondary facade. And all these conditions were provided to you in your packet and would be part of that plan development approval. So outcomes for this project, if approved, would be improvements for the existing convenience store. The rezoning from heavy commercial zoning district to a plan development district will allow Sheetz to add both a drive-through pickup window and 1 more fuel pump. The rezoning to plan development will allow for the redevelopment of the site in a manner that mirrors the existing building's orientation and site plan, resulting in a legally conforming project. And then the site will be developed to an alternative form other than what is prescribed in the Unified Development Ordinance. So again, just to go over those standards, when considering a plan development request, we're looking at section 2.2.25.j, where you as the board must consider the impact of this project on the public's health, safety, and welfare, whether the project's appropriate for the location where it's proposed, whether the project is reasonable and in the public's interest, and then other relevant factors. And again, with this being a plan development request, we're looking at that section 3.5.5, which does ask for the applicant to provide information on how this is better than the interpretation of the UDO standards, and for the board to determine whether that is so. So, and now I'm gonna turn it over to Sheetz here to give their presentation.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the board. My name is Clint Cogburn. I'm a land use attorney with the law firm Ward & Smith, with offices at 82 Patton Avenue in Asheville, North Carolina. I'm here on behalf of the applicant Sheetz. Here with me tonight are 2 members of our development team. The first is Kelly Brown, who oversees entitlements and projects for Sheetz. Also here tonight is Heather Timothy, who is the project engineer and a civil engineer with Kimley Horn. We're available to answer any questions that the board may have. To the extent that I can't answer them, Kelly or Heather are available to answer them. We'll direct your questions to the appropriate person to respond to them as they come up. As staff mentioned, we are requesting a plan development approval for the redevelopment of this site. We went into significant detail at the joint public hearing and certainly are happy to go through each of those conditions and the rationale for those conditions if the commission would like, but certainly want to be respectful of your time. But we are happy to go into that same level of detail tonight if the commission would like us to do so. The reason for the request is for, again, that redevelopment in conjunction with the replacement of the petroleum system. Because the petroleum system requires to be replaced, there can't just be a renovation, there has to be a redevelopment of the site. And so Sheetz saw this as an opportunity to update the site, to improve the site, to create a better customer experience for its customers, as well as just build out a better product for the town in conjunction with that redevelopment. That is also the purpose of the conditions, is to provide a better aesthetic and to, again, provide a better customer experience. Sheetz has worked significantly with the surrounding property owners in developing those conditions, and the rationale for many of those conditions is to minimize the impact of this redevelopment on adjoining property owners, with specific emphasis placed on the adjoining townhome property. And so that's, when you look at the site plan that has been proposed as part of this, the activity centers are concentrated towards the middle of the site and then towards Pierce's and Arundel. We are proposing, again, keeping the fuel canopy where it is located. That was a big item that was discussed with the community, again, trying to minimize any of that activity towards the rear of the site, in addition to the location or the proposed location of the dumpster enclosure. We have proposed an aesthetic for that dumpster enclosure that will be consistent with the building aesthetic, feature this materially same or similar materials to the building design as part of that dumpster enclosure. We are, again, proposing that pickup lane. I do want to be specific there. We're not proposing what is a traditional drive-through. There'll be no order board. There'll be no transaction or exchange of money. There'll be no noise generated. It will just be a pickup window for mobile and online orders. So when somebody pulls up to the pickup window, a team member at Sheetz will be notified, and they'll come deliver the made-to-order food to that individual. But it's not going to function as a traditional drive-through. It's a pickup window, and the goal there is to create efficiencies, to prevent queuing, and then also to obviously minimize any noise there at the rear of the site. In terms of changes that we have made since we last appeared before you on October 13th, we appreciate the opportunity to present to both you and the planning board, and certainly appreciate the planning board's unanimous recommendation for approval last week. We took those comments to heart and went back and looked to see what we could do to address those comments. The first was we received several comments about the fence, specifically in the written comments. I know that there were individuals who asked whether or not the size of the fence or the height of the fence could be increased. I'm happy to share that what we're proposing now is an 8-foot fence compared to the 6-foot fence we originally were proposing. Again, for the board's information, we are not proposing a chain link fence. That will be a solid fence, some type of masonry, brick, stone, to again minimize and reduce any impact from development. In conjunction with that, we did look at the relocation of the 2 air pumps that were proposed for the rear of the site. We have shaded it at the top near the dumpster enclosure where we were able to relocate one of those air pumps to that location. We were unable to relocate the second just because of drive aisles. We wanted to avoid congestion pinch points. So there is one air pump that will remain at the rear of the site, but we were able to relocate one of those towards the front near where the dumpster enclosure is. The other change that we were able to make was on the facade facing Pierce's. There was a comment about the aesthetic of that facade, the elevation that we presented. We are now proposing to remove the utility ladder that was originally proposed for that side. We're also now proposing screening for the the propane cages. It'll be a decorative screening. So we've worked to improve that design aesthetic facing Pierce's following the comments. Additionally, we did look at other comments that we received both from the board and the planning board, one of which was the location of the trash enclosure. We looked at where we could relocate that on the site. But at the end of the day, following a significant review of the options, the original proposed location here at the front of the site to us is the most appropriate. It sits low on the site, and with the proposed enclosure, we believe that it will be the best aesthetic and the best layout. Really, the only other option would be to put it at the back of the site, which was a significant point of discussion with the townhome community, not wanting that given potential noise impacts. But we did take a look at that, and we do think that the proposed location is most appropriate. Another comment, and I believe it was from Commissioner Harrison, was about potential EV parking. We did go back and talk about potential EV parking. Sheets had talked to its EV partners both prior to our submittal and then following the October 13th joint public hearing. For the board's information, Sheets does not make a determination as to where EV charging stations are located. Those are done in conjunction with its EV partners, so electric vehicle companies that really make these siting choices. And Sheets has gone back, looked at this. At this point, those EV partners are not proposing EV charging stations for this location. That doesn't mean that won't happen in the future, and Sheets is certainly open to putting those in place if those EV partners deem it appropriate. But that is the reason why there are not EV charging stations proposed here currently. But again, that is something that Sheets will continue to look into, and if it becomes appropriate in conjunction with those EV partners, they're certainly happy to do so. And then finally, on the pickup window, there was a comment about the 2 proposed windows on the pickup lane. That is just to account for the potential for queuing. Again, there's not an expected line as part of this pickup process, but for example, if there were to be 3 or 4 cars, Sheets would like to have the option of being able to deliver that food to minimize any queuing and to get people in and out of the site as quickly as possible. So those have been the changes. Sheets has worked to address the comments coming out of the joint public hearing. Certainly is happy to answer any questions that the board may have. We would ask that you approve this request. We believe it's consistent with the ordinance intent for a plan development. It's consistent with the comprehensive plan. It presents a very tailored site plan that minimizes impact to adjoining property owners, and we would ask that you approve this request.
Comments from the board. Commissioner Smith?
So, Mr. Cogburn, first I want to say I'm excited to hear about the 8-foot wall. I think that'll help with the noise mitigation at the back between the neighborhood and Sheets. However, I know in the joint public hearing we had discussed the proposed air machine near the back. I wouldn't be doing my own due diligence for our citizens if I didn't say that that needs to be moved still to the easterly side if that's possible, only because it's right there on the property line. Even with the fence, I think that that's something that's reasonable. Did you run any sort of traffic analysis that said that that area would be congested if you had moved it to that side?
So I'll defer to Heather and Kelly on some of that, but I know that that was looked at extensively, and one of the concerns was if we put it similarly to where the now relocated air pump is now proposed, is that it could create some congestion if you had 2 cars that were situated right there. That was the rationale, was to again try to not create a congestion point there, to the extent that as part of any future development plan that can be relocated. Again, I will defer to Kelly and Heather, but I think Sheets is certainly open to it, but that is the rationale, was to again try to avoid stacking in that area that would create potential conflict of movements there with people utilizing the gas pump, the air pump, somebody going to the dumpster enclosure. That was the rationale there.
I understand. My rationale is just that with all these parking spaces on the eastern side, on the front side, if that would be a possibility to put the air pump there. That's the main reason why I ask.
And certainly, I'm happy to talk to my client and see if that's something they're willing to do. Again, they looked at this extensively just to try to see where they could locate the pumps, where they could be safely located. And this is the proposal that they came back with after looking at that extensively.
And then as for the location of the trash, right there at the front are we going to have shrubs? Are we going to have trees? How tall would it be as far as concealing that, because it's right there in the very front of the sheets?
So it will be fully enclosed again with similar building materials as to what the primary structure will be. I know that there are some planned shrubs that are proposed for that area. One thing that my client has mentioned to me, if it is of interest to the board, is that it could be there could be a tiny roof, so to speak, placed on that, if that is an aesthetic that the board would desire. I know that sometimes that can draw attention to it, but that is something that Sheets is willing to propose as well if the board would like it.
Definitely entertain that. And then also I'd like to mention, if we were to look at the option to move it to the southern side of the building complex, would that be possible in those spaces 39 to 42 or something like that? I know that you'd have to talk to, your people. But. So
to the extent that that is something that the board would like, I will defer to my client on that, and I'm happy to bring them up here to address that. One of the issues is that would cause loss of parking. And we're already working to try to meet the parking requirements as closely as we can as part of this request. So that is the balance that we have drawn, is that location with that enclosure, with some of the proposed screening, vegetative screening, and because it also sits low in that spot. That was the rationale. If certainly the board desires, I'm happy to talk to my client now to discuss it, but that's the rationale.
Okay. I drive to the Sheets most days. Honestly, almost every day I'm at the Sheets. And this corner right here where you're proposing to put the garbage is always a very busy corner. If you look at down here in the southeastern corner, you can see where people would turn in if we had the garbage down there on the southern side. You'd have less parking, yes, but you'd have less people in that area.
And that's certainly something we can look at. One of the other factors is that shared drive with the adjoining property owner. Again, I'm happy to ask Kelly and Heather to come up here to talk about it in more engineering detail, but that's also a consideration, is because of that shared driveway, it would constrict some of that. And our concern is that if we placed it there, do you impede people coming and going from that shared access point? Does that make that turn from that shared access more difficult? And that's something that we want to be cognizant of and being good neighbors to our adjoining property owners.
My last question regarding the EV. If they had said no now, how long would we have to wait before we could be evaluated for that in the future?
I'll have to defer to Kelly.
Hello, I'm Kelly Brown, and entitlement manager with Sheets. So as Clint had mentioned, our EV partners come to us with interest. At this time, they will reevaluate our 800 sites every few years. So there's no telling when one of the three may come back to us with interest. If they were to come back tomorrow and said, hey, there's some interest here, we would have to look at our site layout, because there are flammability concerns, as I'm sure you are familiar with EV cars and chargers. They have to be so many feet away from gas pumps and underground storage tanks and petroleum products, et cetera. So we'd have to take a look at the site and see if we can meet those setback requirements with their desired number of chargers, depending on the provider. So we don't really have a lot of control over that, but we're welcome to have those discussions when they come up.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
And also one point on the dumpster enclosure, in speaking with Heather, that has been a topic with that adjoining property owner. And I don't want to speak for that adjoining property owner, but I think there'd be substantial concerns about locating it directly adjacent to their site. Again, to the extent that that's something the board would like Sheets to look at, they can, but there's a lot of concerns about both the impact to that shared access point compared to where the proposed location is. And we believe that proposed location, as shown on this site plan, is most appropriate, given that we can create a very an enclosure that will look like the building. We're certainly happy to add, again, what I'll call these small roof, and to look at ways that there can be vegetative screening there.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments from the board? Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we need a public hearing?
No, not for this item tonight. We had the public hearing at the joint public hearing back in October, and there's no annexation request along with this one. It's already annexed into the town. The planning board recommendation with a vote with a vote of 4-0, the planning board recommended approval of PD 2025-05, finding that it's consistent with 2.2.25.J, 3.5.5, and the comprehensive land use plan. Staff recommendation to the planning board. So this is what we recommended to the planning board, and then kind of how that feeds into how we recommend to you tonight. So town staff recommended that the planning board consider the appropriateness of applying the plan development process to this request. The proposed redevelopment would bring the sheet site into legal conformity and provide an updated building form consistent with the town's unified development ordinance. The planning board determined that utilizing the plan development process to make a project conforming by allowing flexibility from the ordinance is consistent with the intent of UDO section 2.2.15 and 3.5.6. So the sample motion is before you.
Is there a motion?
I hereby move to approve ordinance 2026-18, finding that it is reasonable, is consistent with Zebulon Comprehensive Land Use Plan, and is compliant with UDO Section 2.2.25.J as described in the prepared statement for UDO Section 2.2.15.G.3.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
I took the easy one. Second.
Right.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Roll vote. Commissioner Davis.
Favor.
Commissioner Smith.
Not in favor.
Commissioner Harrison.
Favor.
Commissioner Miles.
Favor.
Commissioner Baxter.
Favor.
Motion passes 4-1. Thank you. Manager's report.
Thank you, Mayor, Commissioners. I will ask our HR Director to lead this, as to present to you our health plan, our renewal, effective January of 2026, especially because open enrollment is about to begin. So, Monique.
I'm Monique Merriweather-Yarborough, the HR Director. As we do approach open enrollment, we wanted to provide to you for informational purposes only the information about renewal for the employee health and medical coverage. And I have here Alex Doberstein from Accentria to explain at a high level.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, never a great time to talk about health insurance, so might as well be at the end of the day here, right? So appreciate the opportunity. I'll try to be very brief, but happy to answer any questions. We just thought it was important. It's a large dollar, expenditure that y'all are up to date on the health insurance. So we did have, like many employers right now, a rough health insurance renewal. So what we're seeing across the board, like Blue Cross, their published rates for small group, it's about a 17.5% increase across the board. We're seeing that with the other carriers, and it's really all across the country right now. So for last year's renewal, we have Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Carolina with a level funded health insurance plan. Based off of the claims experience, the underwriting said projected it should be an 18% renewal. We tried to convince them, no, that was just a rough first year. We're going to do much better next year. And we were able to get it down to an 8% last year. But unfortunately, instead of the claims, which are the hospital claims, the prescription medications, how the employees are using the health plan, instead of getting better, they're actually worse this past year. So now they presented almost a 22% increase. We did explore the option of going to other health insurance companies for a competing bid, but then instead of starting well with a 17% no-shop renewal, which is just our commitment to stay with Blue Cross, would have had to market with a 22% increase and a bad claims experience. So the concern of perhaps being in a worse spot by not having a better alternative, or having an insurance company that would come in and buy the business for 1 year and then increase the rates up even more the next year was a concern. So by doing some plan design changes and some tweaks on the contribution, we're able to get it down to within budget with Blue Cross. So that's what we'd like to be going with for this year's renewal and to avoid kind of the disruption. So this is just a snapshot of the claims. We have three components. We have the cost of administering the plan, stop loss insurance for the high cost claimants, and then the rest goes to a claims bucket. And this past year, over the last 9 months, the first 9 months of the planning year, we're at a $254,000 deficit, meaning, if claims were good, money would be refunded back to the town, but because claims have been running so high, there's not an opportunity for a refund, and it's what's calling for the large increase. We're seeing gross claims increase by 41%. A large part of that is the high-cost claimants. Some of the big drivers across the board is prescription medication is a very big one. The cost of medications have gone up a lot. There's a lot of new medications coming out to the market, and they're very expensive. And that cost of those medications gets passed down into the health insurance. That and just the cost of going to a doctor. What the doctors are negotiating with the insurance companies, they're getting pay increases, and once again, kind of comes down to the health insurance renewals here. So as I said, we're seeing this across the board. This wasn't necessarily because of really poor experience because of the town. We're seeing large increases across the board. I've been in the industry for more than 15 years, and this isn't probably about 15 years ago was about the only comparable year to what we're seeing a lot of 30, 40, 50% increases, this year. So it's been a rough start of 2026 for the health insurance renewals. We're seeing the state health plan have significant deficit and passing along large increases to the state employees as well there. So to make some alterations to the plan to get it within budget, the Plan B, which is the one that is $0 employee contributions to enroll, so they don't pay for that one out of payroll deductions. We increased the deductible a little bit, and then we made some changes to the co-pays on the prescriptions medications, but then allow employees to buy up to a more lower deductible, higher out of the premium cost, but lower out-of-pocket cost plan if they choose to. Making some tweaks to the wellness rates, we're kind of streamlining that process. So for those people that are engaged in wellness activities, they will be able to benefit from lower costs, but we're offering that to all employees for this year as we revamp that program. And then one of the big changes this year is offering a consumer-driven health plan, which is an opportunity to contribute to a health savings account. So rather than throw all your money just at health insurance premium, some contributions from the town are going to be going towards a health savings accounts for employees that choose to enroll in that health plan, and then employees can contribute as well. And this is tax-free health savings accounts dollars that rolls over year after year. So it's a great benefit for the employees that are interested in being in that type of plan. So this is kind of a lot of numbers on here, but this shows kind of what the current plans are compared to what the 2026 plan designs will be. So it's that Plan B that currently has a $2,500 deductible going up to $3,000, out-of-pocket max going up a bit, and the co-pays going up a bit. The Plan A, that buy-up option, is still available with the same rich plan designs. We see this pretty well in line with the state health plan with the plan design changes that they made for this year. And the other big one is on the cost of those medications. So the people that don't want to buy up to the more expensive plan, some of the brand name medications will maybe a little bit higher out of pocket, but what we're seeing is a lot of, you may see it on the commercials where you pay as low as $25, you pay as little as $0. There's manufacturer assistance available for those employees at the time of claim where they actually won't see significant out-of-pocket cost increase because of that. And then we have the rates on this slide. I don't expect you to be able to read that too well, but if you got really great glasses, maybe you will there. But the big item is continuing to offer a $0 contribution plan, and then having an HSA option as well, a consumer-driven health plan option, and that one's $0 as well. And then with that one, the town will contribute $75 a month towards that health savings account there, and then a buy-up option for the people that want to have that $1,000 deductible still. So that's what I have for as far as the presentation, but as I said, happy to answer any questions, but we think Blue Cross Blue Shield has been a great partner, and unfortunately, the increase is justified based off of claims and what we're seeing in the marketplace here.
Can we get something that won't need us to purchase a microscope to be able to read, please?
So we have kind of the, I don't have it today, but I can certainly email over. We have a benefit guide and, the full screen versions of those that I can get to you, or I'm sure Monique will get that in your hands there.
Could you go back to the last screen, please?
Yep.
And so there's the buy-up is going to be the same. That's Plan A,
Yes.
right? And is the buy-up the same?
The contributions,
Because the buy-up's what, like 75 a month or something like that?
let's see here. Yeah, so it's pretty comparable here. So that one, depending if you have wellness or non-wellness, but this is the 2026 contributions would be about 75 a month there for the buy-up plan.
Okay.
And some, good work by the staff. We were able to get this within the budgeted numbers there, so we don't need, any adjustments on that, but just want everyone to be aware of the health insurance changes.
Any other questions, comments from the board? Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
Board comments?
Do we still have a couple of items, Mayor?
Which one? The financial addendum?
Thank you, Mayor. Our finance director is not feeling very well today, so she is not here. But it's really for informational purposes. There's really nothing in there that should drive any question.
Okay, can we make sure that the addendum hits the website at some point? Okay,
Yes.
cool.
Board comments? Commissioner Miles?
No comments, sir.
Commissioner Harrison?
No comments, thank you.
Commissioner Baxter?
I would like to take this opportunity to thank Commissioner Schmidt for the short time that you've been here. You've done a heck of a lot of research, and I just appreciate your thoughtfulness and your comments. I know that it's not easy to come on for a short period of time and be asked to make decisions on things that we've been talking about for when it comes to the stadium. I don't even know how many years we've been talking about this anymore, because it just seems like it's been such a long, protracted process. But thank you. Thank you for volunteering to do this for the town.
Much for those words.
Commissioner Davis?
No comment.
Commissioner Smith?
Comment.
Tomorrow's election day. Go vote.
Yep, go vote.
Tomorrow's election day, go vote. Exercise your right to vote. Also like to thank the staff for all the heavy lifting they did, especially Parks and Rec with all of those master plan proposals and possible grant proposals to move our parks and recreation forward. And thank you, board, for all the work you do. Now, if we have nothing else to come call our attention, is there a motion?
I would like to make a motion to adjourn.
We have a motion. Is there a second? Second. All in favor? Meeting adjourned. Thank you.